السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته جميعا. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. Inshallah, today I'd like to talk about a new book of mine that I'm working on to come out soon. And uh, the name of the book, or the working title for now, it's The Etiquettes of the Student of Knowledge and Warning Against the Pseudo Scholars and Its Attributes by Sheikh Dr. Saleh bin Fawzan ibn Abdullahi al Fawzan, Hafidhullah. Uh, this book I actually translated about 13 years ago, but I edited the book, edited the translation, and I added a second portion or a second part of the book, which would be related to warning against pseudo scholars and its attributes. Um, the reason why I did this, or I added in the second portion related to what we say ta'alam wa mutta'alimin. Ta'alam means in Arabic, it means falsely educated, right? And it's pertaining uh, to people who seek Islamic knowledge the wrong way, and those people who pretend to be scholars or scholarly peoples in the religion. So I took this uh, particular subject because you would definitely find many scholars speak about it from many angles and views. But I found that Sheikh Saleh Al Fawzan, Hafidhullah, that he speaks about it the most all his talks and lectures. Even if he's lecturing talking about fiqh, he will mention the ta'alam and muta'alimin, right? Because ta'alam and muta'alimin are the people who have these qualities, who are pretending to be scholars or pseudo scholars. The Sheikh says that these people misguide peoples and they give people wrong information about the religion of Islam that harm their deen and harm themselves. So, for example, Sheikh Salih Fawzan Hafidullah, which I read many of his books, I listened to a lot of his works for the last maybe 13 or 15, maybe 15 years, longer than that, 15 years since I learned Arabic language. And I found that Sheikh Salih Fawzan Hafidullah, no matter what topic he's speaking about, whether it's about Aqidah, whether it's about Tawheed, whether it's about fiqh, he always mentioned and warned against the muta'allimin. He always warned against the charlatan sheikh. He talks about their qualities, the qualities or the attributes of the muta'allimin. So I actually took from a lot of the things I have read from the sheikh, and have took them, and I have compiled some of them on my website, which is islamfinest.space, but I have confined them now to the book. So I took one of the lectures from the many lectures of Sheikh Salih Fawzan, Hafidhullah, from Adab, Talabu from the etiquettes of seeking knowledge, and I have took these things and I have put it in the book. And now I will take the book, inshallah, and I will add the Sheikh statements about those who are falsely educated and their attributes and actually how they harm Muslims. Um, the reason why I'm doing it now, um, maybe since the last few years, being on Facebook, and not just a few years, the last maybe 10 years or so, being on Facebook and observing YouTube and observing social media, I had found that people, the Muslims on these particular platforms that they are talking about religion or religious matters, and they don't have any clues about what they're talking about. Rather yet, they are very harmful for the Muslim. And I found over the years, from beginning, I entered into Salafi movement or the Salafi Dawah in the early 2000s. From many of the peoples from the past, I could remember even today, who are callers of Islam, but a lot of them I found back in the days, and even some of them today, especially with the Salafi talk, Salafi publication movement, that I found that a lot of them are from the Muta'alimin. A lot of them in the Salafi community, especially from Salafi publications, followers and associates. A lot of their people who they bigging up to be sheikh today, none of them are sheikh. They are from the Muta'alimin. They are from the people who are falsely educated. And that goes from Umar Quinn. I have no problem mentioning names. Umar Quinn, Hassan Samali. There are people who have not studied with scholars. And the reason why I took the works of Sheikh Saleh Fawzan, not to attack these particular individuals who I mentioned, but it's not restricted to them. They're not the only ones who have these attributes. There are many other Muslims on YouTubers who have these attributes where, as Sheikh Fawzan Hafidullah has described them, they are the scholars of books, which means that they don't seek knowledge the right way, which is through learning from a qualified scholar who is known for knowledge. And then Sheikh Fawzan, and many of his writings, many of his statements, many of his fatwa, even when talking about Aqidah, and I will show even I have took a little experts from books like this book I have right here, the Creed of Imam Baba Harim, for example. I'm looking at it in Arabic. Even in the book, the Sheikh mentioned the Muta'alimin, right? He even mentioned them in the book, right? I even took I took one or two experts from that book, the Creed of Imam Baba Harvey from the Sharh of Sheikh Fawzan. He even mentioned people who are falsely educated, how they misguide peoples, right? Fiqh issues, the Sheikh talks about it the most. And this is not a particular topic that Sheikh Fawzan has originated. It's older than Sheikh Fawzan. For example, Imam Shafi, Rahimullah, has a very famous saying. You'll find this in many books related to the merits of seeking knowledge. Imam Shafi have a statement, Man kana kitabuhu shaykhahu wa kana qatta'uhu aqfa min sawabihi. Imam Shafi, what some scholar contribute to him, said Imam Shafi said, the one who take his books as to being his sheikh, he have more mistakes than others, right? He have more mistakes than he's correct, is a better translation, right? He has more mistakes than he is correct, right? Many of the scholars in the past warned even about this. But I found that Sheikh Fawzan Hafidullah, in many of his writings, he mentions that. He mentions that. And I took some articles from the Sheikh and translated them, and I have published it in the book, along with the book of the Sheikh, or the lecture of the Sheikh, pertaining to the etiquettes of seeking knowledge, because he does mention from the etiquettes of seeking knowledge. He mentioned many times also about learning from scholars and not learning from the muta'alimi, those who learn from books and did not learn from scholars, those who learn from listening to tapes, audios, but did not learn their knowledge from scholars, right? This is something very important, in particular in the times we live in the West, where you have many people in the West who have many of the attributes of the muta'allimin, or have who are basically muta'allimin, meaning that they didn't study nowhere, they didn't study with nobody, they didn't study any field, just read a lot of books or listened to a lot of audios, right? So this is something that many scholars warned about, and I have, living in the West, living in the US, I have seen the harm of those individuals taking knowledge from people like this, people who are not qualified, right? People have not, meaning that qualified here, it means people who doesn't study with scholars. No form of fashion I'm speaking about any particular scholar, because you have also of the Neo-Salafi movement in America, meaning Salafi publication, they think that scholars are only the people they respect, or only the scholars they respect. You know, for many years in the U.S. Salafi publication, that means Abu Khadija and their satellite communities here in the West been promoting for many years that there is no scholars in the West. Abu Khadija is not the only one guilty of this. There's many other people, I'm not going to mention their names, all right, who've been preaching that from back in the days, right? Who've been telling the Muslims, the Salafi community, there's no scholars in the West. But now we have Salafi publication, Abu Khadija crew in them. Now they calling them Sheikh and Shuyukh. They say Sheikh Abu Khadija, Sheikh Hassan Somali, Sheikh Umar Quinn. And I ask people how Umar Quinn and Hassan Somali is Sheikh now. They know Sheikh in no religion. Studying the Maj 6 months don't make you no Sheikh in the Deen. Umar Quinn didn't study with anybody scholar that's known for knowledge. Going on seminars don't make you a sheikh in the religion. So this subject by Sheikh Fawzan and many other scholars who talked about it, the attributes of the Muta'allimin, is very important. I like to show some screenshots of the book, inshallah. All right. So this is from the working title, which I'm going to edit. Right now, I just finished editing the translations and editing some of the Q&As pertaining to the charlatan scholars, right? So this is just the working title for now, right? That's going to be edited later on, right? So the editing process, because this is going to be my second book. Whenever the book is going to be released, I do self-publishing, meaning I publish my books on Amazon, right? So this is going to be my second book. And if you want to know whenever it's going to be released, you could follow me on Amazon. I put the link in the description of this video. And later on, I will also upload or play this video on YouTube. But as long as you have a Amazon account on Amazon, and if you look on the link, I have my author page. So if you follow me on the author page on Amazon, whenever I upload a new book for sale, you will get a notification, right? Amazon will send you a notification, right? So whenever the book is going to be uploaded to Amazon, you will definitely get a notification. And also, inshallah, I will also have some marketing material for the book whenever I'm ready to publish it, because the self-publishing is not as easy as it is easy actually, but I have my way for formatting for editing process, because Amazon, you have to have your own. I have my own people who I work with who do the editing to format it for Amazon platform, right? Because Amazon has a special platform, KDP, for uploading. So this is going to be the working title for the book for now. I'm going to change that soon. This is some of the content tables, the table of content, right? So it's going to be more than 8 chapters. This is just, like I said, the working title. All right. This is only good. This is just the content table. That's only for now. There's going to be more chapters because this is the first part of the book. All right. The book is going to have 2 sections. This is the first part of the book related to the etiquettes of seeking knowledge from the lecture of the Sheikh. So these are the 8 chapters from the first part of the book related to the etiquettes of seeking knowledge, right? And now the second part of the book, I took some screenshots of some of the sections in it. What you see here, there's no such thing backbiting for the sake of Allah. I definitely put this here because I can remember back in the early 2000s when I came to Salafi Dawah, that I'm not going to say the name of the individuals because some of them made over from it. But I remember back in the days in the early 2000s, the Salafi community had a lecture. It says, let's backbite for the sake of Allah for an hour. And actually, in this particular talk, they was actually eating the flesh of our teacher, Sheikh Dr. Bilal Phillips, may Allah preserve Sheikh Bilal Phillips. They was backbiting him. I'm not going to name the name of the person because he claimed he made Toba from this type of behavior. But this is something that the Salafi pubs, followers, and socials were doing back those days when they wanted to attack other du'at who were not with them or who disagree with their methodology because they had all these errors with them, right? So remember they said that let's backbite for the sake of Allah. I remember they had a lecture. They even had the audio's title like this. Let's backbite for the sake of Allah. Right? I'm not gonna name the name of the person, but he's gonna get tight. Definitely gonna get tight. Because every time I name his name, he gets tight. But he actually said that he left from this type of behavior, right? So this particular Sheikh Fawzan Hafidhullah, which he's addressing the muta'allimin, and the reason why I added it in the book, where he's talking about there's no such thing as backbiting for the sake of Allah, right? A khiba, right? There's no such thing backbiting for the sake of Allah, all right? I'm trying to actually get it up in my in my word format online. I'm trying to read it because I can't read it from here, right? So that's one of the subjects, one of the sections, sorry, in the second portion of the book, inshallah. All right. I'll also have I don't know why I jumped there, man. Yeah. I should have added the other section. All right. The other section is going to be the students of knowledge differing calls them to break off into groups and sects. All right. And this is something that I have found in the West with the Salafis actually, who was breaking off into groups and sects. I translated this many years ago because we do have, even today, I think more division amongst the Salafi community, in particular the Neo-Salafi movement, which is SP, Salafi publication. Right, so Sheikh Fawzan Hafidullah is talking about some of the things that fall between people because they're different, because them lacking in knowledge, and also related to the issues of the muta'allimin. Next one is the Q&A. Should a student of knowledge memorize first Bulugh al-Maram al-Ummat al-Arkan? Right? And Sheikh Fawzan Hafidullah talks about the issues of the muta'allimin, whether it is memorize the text or they read the book, but they don't comprehend what they are reading. And this is why you need a scholar to learn from, and the Sheikh brings the reason why. Right? This section, those who think criticize an individual is part of seeking knowledge, right? And that even goes back to that, remember, lecture back in the days, and they're talking about let's backbite for the sake of Allah. So the Sheikh here talks about those who think criticize an individual is part of seeking knowledge. I also added that in the book because it's something that is very common amongst Muslims in the West. Sheikh Fawzan says, be aware of the muta'allimun, those who take knowledge from books and not from the people of knowledge and the jahil, those people who are ignorant, right? So I talked about, the Sheikh talked about in detail what are the harmful things of taking this path, right? Right? What's harmful of learning from people like this, right? Even Sheikh has one, taking knowledge from only books resemble the Khawarij, right? It's another section I have, and also in the book. It comes from a lecture from the Sheikh, which is talk about important direction for the nation's youth. This is one lecture. It's very old, but mashallah, the Sheikh, he mentioned this in this lecture about the muta'allim and what happened when the youth take knowledge from them, separate themselves from scholars and limit themselves to just books and audios and things like that. The Sheikh said they resemble the Khawarij because the Khawarij, you'll find with them, you find with the Khawarij, they didn't take knowledge from the Sahaba. They did not take knowledge from the Sahaba. And the Sahaba learned the religion from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And look at the harm of the Khawarij, right? is a very important one. Somebody actually falls in. The person who wants to seek knowledge but has no scholar in his country, city, or area. This is very important, and this is also related to Muslims in the West. So Muslims who live in non-Muslim countries where there's no scholars in the neighborhood or the community. The sheikhs give them some advice on how to learn the religion, and for the sake of just knowing, but does not make them a scholar by doing this method, reading books, and it does not make them a scholar, and it does, and they are not permitted to give fatwa because they haven't studied knowledge from scholars. The charlatan sheikh versus the authentic sheikh. So somebody asked Sheikh Fawzan, I'm trying to read from here. How does a student of knowledge differentiate in these times where there are many trials and tribulation between al-alam, scholar, and the muta'alim, the fake sheikh, the charlatan sheikh, to perhaps take knowledge from its people? All right, I need to edit that a little bit. So this is what somebody asking the sheikh. How does the student of knowledge differentiate in these times where there are many trials and tribulation between the alim and the muta'alim to perhaps take knowledge from its people? Meaning, who to take knowledge from? As you did it, how you know the difference between the alim and the sheikh, basically. So the sheikh gives you the definition, how you know somebody is a real scholar, and how you know somebody is a fake sheikh. Right? The sheikh gives the definition and explain this in detail. Right? Taking knowledge only from books, the Qawarij, right? I already mentioned this from earlier. Right? Questions and answers about seeking knowledge, what the Sheikh been talking about. You cannot rely on books only. Books are only tools. You need a sheikh, a scholar to learn from. Pretending to have knowledge and its grave effects on the nation. Pretending to have knowledge and its grave effects on the nation, meaning the bad effects they have on the nation. All right? This is very important. I believe the second portion of the book I've written, this is one of the first sections. The first section, actually. The screenshots are not in order, right? So actually, in the second part of the book, related to the charlatan sheikh, this starts actually with this right here, right? Pretending to have knowledge and its harm or its effects on Muslims. All right. So inshallah, I'm almost done. I have my ways of editing. I sit down and edit the translation, which I take my time, right? Translated from Arabic into English. It could be easy, but the editing part, getting it exactly, is something that I don't rush. I take my time, right? And then after I finish editing the translation, which I already did most of it, majority of it I edited, I'm gonna go back and edit the English. Then after that, I'm gonna go back and edit the book again, just for vocab's sake. Smooth out the translation and the reading in English. And then I'm gonna have somebody edit the book. And then after that, inshallah, I'm gonna have somebody format the book for me for KDP platform for Amazon KDP, which is self-publishing platform, right? So I'm not going to rush, right? I'm not rushing to finish, but because I don't want to have a lot of typos in the book and this and this and that. And I learned that from my first book, right? Take my time, right? Because my first book I did, it was the first book, so the Amazon KDP, the formatting, I'm like, oh man, I gotta edit this. Oh, look, there's a typo. Oh man, and I paid somebody actually to do that stuff, and they didn't do it properly. So I made my own little system of editing the book, and then when I have people do the editing and formatting, I have to take my time to make sure they do the work right. Because last time I paid people and they didn't complete the work right, and I accepted it, not sitting down and taking my time to make sure, oh man, I had to go back. Oh man, you made this mistake here, or you didn't fix this right here. Look, you forgot to do this. So I'm gonna have to do my work, then go over other people's work who I paid them to do certain things. So I hopefully the book maybe come out. I don't know. I was planning to have the book out already. Did a video before, but I'm in school online right now, and I really don't have I can't put all the time into the book. And then at the same time, I know I can't rush the job, but I'm gonna try to have this done, inshallah, in the coming maybe 2 months, inshallah, right? In the coming 2 months. But it's definitely there. Matter of fact, I even have some rough translations of the book online somewhere. But the rough translation is not accurate in some areas. I fixed some of the translation because I translated this like over 13 years ago, actually, the book. The second portion is recently. So the second portion, the book of things I have mentioned in it, you definitely could find it on my Facebook. I'm sorry, you could find it on my website, islamfinest.space. From the charlatan, I definitely have those online already. You could read some of them. So then I have translated some just for this book, which you're not going to find it on my website. You're going to only find it in the book, like the section where it says, what happened if you don't have a scholar in your area, your country, area, your town? What do you do? Well, I didn't put that translation on my website because I want you to read what the sheikh had to say about this subject by buying the book. There has to be a business part of book writing also, right? I can't put everything free online, right? So that portion of the book where somebody asked Sheikh Saleh Fawzan, what do you do if you don't have a scholar in your country? How do you learn religion? That right there, you're not going to find it on the website. You're going to have to buy the book to get that part. But the one about the Khawarij, the one about the harmful effects, those who pretending to have knowledge and its harmful effects, right? Or taking knowledge only from books, resemble the Khawarij, all that's already on my Facebook. I'm sorry, it's already on my website, islamfinest.space. Islamfinest.space. Like this, right? So inshallah, if anybody have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment for when the book is going to be out. I hope for by December, inshallah. If you go to Amazon.com, and if you have an account with Amazon, you can make a free account with Amazon. You don't need to have money and other stuff to make an account on Amazon, but you can make an account on Amazon if you don't have one already. And then you just click on the link in the description, and it would take you to my author page, and click follow. So whenever I update the book, meaning I publish it, when it's for sale, it will give you a notification, right? When the book is for sale and is ready, it will give you a notification. I'm not going to have this book, Kindles. I'm not going to sell this book Kindle because I have another book on Amazon that I wrote, and the Kindle books, Amazon is thieves when it comes to the Kindle books, because for example, I would sell a book on Kindle lesser price than that physical book, right? So what Amazon Kindle KDP will do is that's Amazon platform is called KDP for books, selling books and stuff like that. It's called KDP. So what Amazon will do is that for those people who have free or unlimited subscription to Amazon Kindle, they can read any book for free on Kindle. And so whatever page they read from the book, so if it's one of my books, I would get a half a cent, not a cent, half a cent for each page read. That's no money, right? So I'm not putting no more KDP books on Amazon. So this book is going to be paperback only. I'm thinking about making hardback of this particular book, because for hardback books on Amazon, you need at least over 75 pages. And I'm thinking about adding, I have already some matun in Arabic, right? Because in the beginning of the book, the first part of the book is about the etiquettes of learning, right? So I'm thinking about putting some mutun, which I already have, already lined up on like Al-Ajrumiyya, Al-Qawaid Al-Arba'a by Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, rahimahullah, Usul Thalatha, Bayhaqi, uh, some other books on Mustalah Hadith that are mutun, considered to mutun. Some a matan on Usul Fiqh, all right, maybe Al Waraqat, most likely. I have another matan on for what's it for Usul Tafsir, right? Because Sheikh talks about that, right? So I'm planning to put the mutun in the back of the book, right? The back of the book. So I might publish this particular book hardback, all right? Paperback and hardback with mutun in the back of the book, inshallah, related to the qawaid, the nahu, aqidah, tawheed, mustalah hadith, usul tafsir, and something else I can't, it's not in my mind right now, but I have it somewhere. I already have it somewhere to do this stuff. So, like I said, inshallah, whenever the book is going to come out, I would definitely, you get notification if you follow me. And inshallah, I will have some marketing for the book on Facebook and YouTube, inshallah. So, if anything, uh, leave a comment at the end and please like and share.